Take a moment to peek into the lives of inspirational people living the true definition of happiness with author, presenter, personal stylist and coach Moana Robinson, who chats to people who have overcome challenges to live their best life. Moana is a passion and purpose coach and a personal stylist who empowers others to discover their best life and style, regardless of age. Here is Moana.
Hi, it's Moana Robinson here with a Take a Moment, and today I'm chatting to Sally Edwards. Was it Sally Louise Edwards? Your husband calls you Louise.
He does, but I answer to a lot.
Yeah. I met Sally at an event recently, and she's also been a client, and we got chatting about some times in her life when she had experienced some challenges. And when I talk about challenges, they don't have to be anything overly dramatic or anything huge, but the challenge that Sally experienced is relative, I think, to a lot of women out there. Sally, can I just ask you a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely.
Can you just tell us?
Quite. I have found it very difficult to have retired, having been in the workforce for 45 years. You get set in your working life self, and then suddenly when that finishes, part of you kind of finishes, and I have found it really hard to settle into retirement.
Because you were a school teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the various aspects of education, and I think that because that is such a regulated job and very kind of accountable or report driven or whatever, to suddenly not have those checks and balances and the freedom is daunting. Like things like going and discovering in the real world that you can go shopping out of school holidays and there's no children around, or you can fly non-peak time because it's out of holiday time. At first it's kind of, oh wow, but then it's okay. So it's been hard.
So how many years have you been retired now?
2, February the year before last. And so for a while I had the holiday, we can do. And then after the holiday, then the focus on the family, the concentric circles, the friends, the whatever. And then after the novelty wears off, there's that kind of, for me, it was that crunch time, that kind of, now what? And so it was the now what after the I know what for good 45 years that was.
So when you first left school, you sort of thought of it like a holiday.
Yes.
Yeah. And then after that, you kind of realised, this is it.
The reality kicked in. Yeah, very much so.
And your husband's still working, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. And that also has been good because his work has involved quite a bit of travel, and there was the Sally with partner, Sally without partner swinging, and so suddenly to be home, especially with COVID and with him 24/7 and him still working, I'd creep around the house thinking, I better be quiet. And so I'd go out rather than be home so that I didn't disturb his work. That was a challenge too.
I can imagine. Did you find, like with me being a coach and a personal stylist, did you find it hard with your wardrobe, even just that side of it, deciding what to wear, being at home all the time?
Yes, very much, because I was in different areas of education. And so there was the corporate wardrobe that I didn't really need anymore. But I couldn't let it go because it was still part of me. And school and every other aspect of education was still part of me, but it wasn't. So it took a while to kind of recalibrate everything. But then make sure that, I got dressed every day, especially with COVID again. I got dressed every day and I did, but I didn't have to do. it was a difference.
You were telling me when you came to see me the other day, all the things that you do. So you do keep yourself quite busy. You've sort of got a full schedule Monday through to Friday, don't you?
Well, I think I started, when I realised crunch time, I thought, well, I was waiting for what'll I do next? Next whatever. And I had no idea what the next whatever was. And that was a bit scary. And so I talked to friends and I thought about it. So first thing I started to do was volunteering. Volunteering for babies, and at the other end, volunteering, calling the bingo at a retirement assisted living. And I went through a stage of busyness, be busy. And when I reflected, of course, I've gone through stages of this. When I reflected, I started thinking, you're just being busy for the sake of being busy. And I was. So then came more about, well, if this is it, what's it going to be like? So I have a day where I do the 2 volunteering, and that is fulfilling and it's purposeful and I enjoy it. And I know somewhere I'm a little cog making a little difference. So that was more in line with what I'd been used to. And then I thought, but I still have to do something for me. And I discovered U3A. And at first I thought it was being University of the Third Age. At first I thought, what's this? But a wonderful organisation where retired people or people who have a skill or enjoy something coach others. So I have evolved to a day of volunteering, a day for me learning the ukulele and things, and with Women in Bloom and with you, I've now got to the stage where I'm opening another journey of discovery, which is a bit scary for me, and that is myself, working on myself, which hasn't been a priority.
It's quite exciting, really.
It is now. And you, I've got to say, you have made it so much easier.
Oh, thank you.
You truly, truly have. But yes, to suddenly put yourself into the forefront when you're not really used to doing that. I mean, I am confidently in the workforce, and with friends, but when I get down to the me, quite different again.
I think it's so common that women aren't used to thinking about themselves. It's always external.
True.
And it's really not easy to focus on yourself.
No, you're right. So that's the self. I really had to stop, really look at where I was at and self-assess rather hardly, quite emphatically, and recalibrate. And then I was very lucky to experience the Women in Bloom evolve. And of course you presented then, so that led to meeting with you. And so, yes, I'm changing my mindset to not what I can, what I have, what I do, but just who I am, what I am. That's made a difference.
And maybe just being instead of doing.
Yes.
Yeah, just being.
Absolutely.
Being Sally.
Yep. And it's taken 2 years. I mean, I've always been Sally, but without the work component in retirement, to find that Sally has taken a while.
Yeah. Have you got any advice for women, possibly empty nesters or women who are retired? Because there are different stages in life when you do feel that kind of emptiness or you don't know what to do with yourself.
I think having a purpose, whatever that be, like I started with hobbies and interests. And then I thought, well, and you go through the big house clean and you find it difficult to, give away the Thomas the Tank Engine books that really should have gone 25 years ago, 30 years ago. So I think it's be honest, look for yourself, think for yourself, and if it feels right, do it. If you're not quite ready, don't rush it. It took me a very long time to clear a double garage sliding door, ceiling to floor, full of professional life. And I did it bit by bit, but I've still hung on to the literature, the books. But do it by degrees. Don't think that's it, I'm done, because you will be disappointed that you did that.
So it's kind of a process. Very much a process.
Yeah. And don't rush. Be kinder to yourself. If you're in retirement, be kinder to yourself than you probably have been, because I haven't been kind to myself. You've got to do this, you've got to do that. No, you don't need that anymore.
No.
But I hadn't been ready.
Oh.
I'm there though.
I'm a firm believer, as I always say, on having someone to love, which you do, something to look forward to. So that would be what, your travel?
Yeah, that's my passion. And it doesn't have to be far. It can just be, I don't know, having a snack overlooking the water somewhere that isn't far from home, but making time to stop and do something with those people you care about.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very much. And it doesn't have to be grand, but I do really like to travel, and I've been lucky enough to travel a lot. So that fills a lot of my time preparing and getting ready. And you're very good at helping people with how to pack for difficult situations.
You've also got something meaningful to do, which is another key to happiness. And you've said before, having a purpose. That's really important.
And mine are very simple purposes. I support and volunteer for Baby Give Back, which the philosophy is every baby deserves an equal start in life. And I get my kind of educating fix because I pack the books for every case that might come in, for every gifting package. So I really enjoy doing that, because I know at the end of, I don't have to know the end result. It's enough to know that a child or a family are going to get some books that they might sit and share and enjoy some time together in a tough time. So that I find wonderful. And at the other end of the scale, I call the bingo at Legs 11. I call the bingo at an assisted living senior retirement centre. And that is also wonderful because it was where my mother had lived the final stages of her life. So I know a lot of the people. And so it's a conduit, I guess, with Mum, but more importantly, the people who supported me, I'm giving back. So they're two volunteering things that are great. And getting out of the comfort zone, learning new things. Never in a million years would I have thought I'd be learning the ukulele, but I do.
And you're doing that today, aren't you?
So yes, it's broadening your self-parameters that often you put in yourself. Getting out and looking for more.
Oh, thank you so much, Sally, for taking a moment with me.
It's my pleasure. And anybody who might be sharing and listening, if you have found retirement difficult, push on, work out. If it's up to me, it will be. So give it your best shot.
Definitely.
It's worth it.
Thank you so much, Sally.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Take a Moment with Moana Robinson. Remember to visit her website, bestyledforlife.com.au, and book a time for a further conversation.